Hello, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. In this video I'll be showing you how to paint the ocean, and in the next video I'll be showing you how to paint this circle that goes around to complete the whole picture. So what I'm doing now is I've measured the center point of my wall, and I'm going to be taking my very large compass. If you'd like to see how to make the compass, I'll leave a link in the description box. Unfortunately, because the circle is large, you probably won't be able to see it. As you can see, I've got quite a nice line to work off, and now I'm going to reset my compass at 59 centimeters. So now I've got my two circles, and now I can start painting. Now normally the focal point is at eye height, so that's my focal point, and it'll go up to that first line, which will be the sky section, and then we've got coming down to that point there, which is the sea, and then it'll go down onto the floor. So I'm just going to mark that all up with some masking tape and then paint it. So I've marked the first piece. Make sure you use a spirit level so that you get a nice straight line. I'm using low sheen acrylic paint to paint the wall. So I've got white, and I've got a blue, and I've got a turquoise, which I'm going to be just putting on the wall and blending those colours together. So the next thing I've done is I've just painted a strip of black paint, which is the sea, and while I'm painting I'm actually going a little bit over my marked line here so that I know it's definitely covered when I put my next piece on. So, and I've put the sun and the clouds, that's all that I'm doing, and then we're down to the water. To paint the sea I'm going with the same colour, turquoise, and I've got a really fine little brush. I don't have any of the really good brushes, I just use these little cheap plastic ones, but they work well enough for me. So what we're going to be doing is, right at the very back, you're going to do tiny little smiles, just little smiles like that, and you're going to work them all the way. Try not to do them all in a straight line, so just random little smile like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start establishing where the bigger waves are, because right at the far back where you want these tiny little ones, and as you get closer and closer to the front, the waves now start elongating and getting slightly bigger. As you can see, I'm starting to increase the size of the waves or the reflections, so it's starting to look like that. Just doing the same little smiley face, little smiles, but just elongating them slightly so that you've got them going a bit like that. So you can make them going up to make the crest and the trough, but just keep the little smiles. And just keep going until you've covered the whole picture. When you start getting closer to the middle, you have to start working out where you want your reflections to be. So now the sun is up there, so I'm going to start my reflections about there. So you don't want to take the turquoise colour through into the reflection area, so just mark where you want to stop on the sides when you're putting the waves in like that. So I've put a bit of the blue in as well as the turquoise, just to give me this slight variation in colour. As you get closer to the foreground, you start making the waves a little bit thicker and a lot larger. So when you look at the sea, it's like that. I've started giving the waves a bit of definition now by just increasing the size of the lines and colouring in them just a little bit more. So as you can see, the waves are forming now. And then we'll start on the other side. I've got all my waves in now. Now I'm going to be working on the reflection. I'm going to be using white to do that. So what I'm doing, just like with the waves, I'm putting the small dots and then increasing the size as I get further away. And then I'm going to fill the whole space in. I've put my reflection in now, and I'm going to wait for the paint to dry before I put the sparkles on the water. To do the sparkles in my reflection, I'm going to be using this cadmium yellow hue, and I'm mixing it with this iridescent medium. So from going from a bright yellow like that, I've got this really nice looking light colour, which I'm going to be doing the sparkles with. I'm going to be using this really tiny little detailing brush. As you can see, it's very small. You can add as many sparkles into the water as you want. It just brightens it up a little bit. So I'm going to be adding quite a few. So only to place them on top of a crest. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking a small dot and putting it onto my picture like that, and then taking a harder brush and just flaring it out. So just pushing it up just a little bit to give it a bit more sparkle. So just like that. So I put all my little sparkles in. It's not quite noticeable, but if I go closer you'll see there's quite a few little sparkles in the water. For my sparkles on the water, I'm going to be using this pearl white, which is has got a metallic finish to it. It will give me quite a nice sparkle. Just remember, when you're putting your sparkles on, make sure that you're only putting them on the crest of a wave and not in the troughs. So I've put just a few little sparkles on just to brighten the picture up a wee bit. Now that I've finished the sea and the paint is all dry, I'm going to be sealing that with some floor polish, and I'm using Brilliance commercial floor polish, and I'm going to be applying 2 coats on that just to give it a bit of a shine. So I've put my floor polish on, and as you can see, it gives a really brilliant shine to it. And now the ocean is finished, and then I'll complete the rest of the picture. Thank you so much for watching.